Today we're here to talk about the Cisco Collaboration Flex Plan at a high level. My name is Sean Wilson. I'm the Collaboration Practice Lead here at SMP, and accompanying me today will be Terry Abbott, who's a Senior Collaboration Architect. Many of you out there on the WebEx today have worked with us in the past. And as Jennifer said, let's try and keep questions till the end. We're going to start off at this at a high level and talk about the value that the Collaboration Flex Plan provides, the program itself, and for those who have installed based Cisco collaboration solutions today, the topics such as migrations and the plan enacted and truly what that looks like would be a follow-up session from this. So getting started. Today, this is what industry analysts are saying is driving customer success. All right, so subscription-based services providing clients with the flexibility that they need to consume services and scale the way that they want to is absolutely where the industry is going. A lot of Cisco's collaboration cloud services have been positioned this way in the past, but the purpose of the Cisco Collaboration Flex Plan is to bring all items from meetings, messaging, and calling under one umbrella. Here you can see a comment from Gartner that states that subscription-based pricing provides agility for organizations. The CIO from IDG states that subscription-based services help them prioritize their business imperatives. And IDC states that it builds stronger vendor relationships, allowing you to be more flexible and nimble. The needs of today's buyers go right in line with the Cisco Collaboration Flex Plan. The Collaboration Flex Plan, once enabled and activated, allows you to deliver new services quickly for the users that you want to deliver those services to. So it answers the question of how I'm able to deliver those services to the team members that need to use them day in and day out. The Flex Plan also gives you the ability to manage your spend and protect your investment. You'll hear a little bit later on what services are inclusive in this plan. While Cisco gives you the ability to mix and match based on what's needed in the organization, there's an agreement that gives you entitlements to all of the services and allows you to consume those services, whether that be on-premise, in the cloud, or in a hybrid state. It can allow you to reduce upfront costs, moving to an OpEx model. All right, so you have the ability to consume the Flex Plan via monthly payments, annual, 3-year, and 5-year, if you will. All right, and another thing that it does is that because it locks you in from an entitlements perspective, it really allows you to plan for the future. You know what you have, okay, and you'll be able to extend those services to meet all of your future needs. What's also great about this is you have the ability to see how the services are being consumed, so you can continuously review how the plan is being leveraged. And it makes it very, very simplistic from a renewals perspective. For those who have been using Cisco Collaboration and Unified Communication Solutions for years, understand what a journey this has been for you as a client and Cisco, right? So Cisco Collaboration licensing has long since been one of the more difficult things to manage in the IT arena. The purpose of this plan really simplifies that. Flex Plan at a high level can be consumed via cloud and premises-based technology. All right, and we'll have a slide a little later on that talks about separating the way that you purchase from the deployment. Cisco gives you the flexibility to consume the services using both on-premise and cloud-based solutions, as I mentioned earlier. It is subscription-based, all right, so it allows you to use easy OpEx budgeting, and it allows you to grow at your own pace. While we don't get into I guess the bits and bytes and the granularity around lower components of the plan, some of the terms that you may be familiar with, like named user and active user, we're going to focus mostly on the enterprise agreement itself today, but know that you can mix and match in the event that you want to with regards to meetings, messaging, and calling. We know that everybody in the organization may not need to use Cisco WebEx. So the organization needs some sort of calling service and likely the messaging services. All right, so Cisco still maintains the flexibility to allow you to deliver it to your organization in the way that you want to. this is really what I just spoke to. I think what's important here is that meetings, calling, and messaging can be rolled up into one simplistic plan. These used to be different consumption models in the past, okay? So while you can still have active user with meetings, which folks are used to, where you actually have an agreement with Cisco that gives everybody in the organization the ability to consume meetings, you only pay for a percentage of that user count. You can also sign an enterprise agreement for meetings, giving everybody entitlements to consume the WebEx meetings platform, and that is based on knowledge worker count. All right, so if you have a good understanding of what your knowledge worker count is for your organizations, that's how Cisco prices out the enterprise agreement with Cisco Collaboration Flex. The same thing applies to calling. You can have named user licensing. Okay, you may have 5,000 employees in your organization, but only 3,500 of them need calling services. You have 3,500 named users, but you could also entitle the entire organization and then some based on inorganic and organic growth percentages with an enterprise agreement. If Teams or Cisco Jabber is inclusive in both of these. Okay, so in the event that you buy WebEx meetings, you're getting the same amount of messaging seats to go along with that. The product is now known as WebEx Teams, formerly known as Spark. Same thing applies for calling. All right, you're going to get messaging included for the same amount of users that you buy for calling. Terry, is there anything that you want to add to this?
Yeah, I want to add that in the enterprise agreement for calling, that you get licensing for all of your knowledge workers, plus you get your public space licenses up to 50% of the knowledge worker count. So for example, if you had 500 knowledge workers, you would also get 250 public space device licenses. So those are things like your conference rooms and your wall phones or things like that. If you're beginning to adopt video, your video endpoint registrations are also included. In addition to that, you have, as Sean said, a growth factor. There is a 20% growth factor that you're allowed to use without additional charges during the term of your subscription that allows you to add places on. So if you have people that are added to the organization or a new site gets added on, you have some growth factor and you don't have to go back and say, gee, I need to buy more licenses and install more licenses. You've got those in there. So it's a really advantageous way to consume and expand your collaboration environment.
Thank you. Thank you. When we go into the deployment slide, we'll talk about some of the product names and applications that are included with the Flex EA as well. But that was excellent. So inclusive in the EA, so we just touched on some of this, okay? But what are the benefits of going with an EA compared to potentially an active user named user model? All right, so first and foremost, you enable every knowledge worker in the organization with rich meetings, messaging, and calling, okay? So again, whether that is the cloud-based services that Cisco provides from a collaboration perspective or their on-premise solutions, which the majority of our clients have. Most have a mix of both, okay? So what's great about that is you now bring your hybrid services, both on-premise and cloud services, together under one agreement. They've always been broken apart in the past. So while Cisco has positioned collaboration enterprise agreements in the past, they've been focused on on-premise solutions. They've been focused on unified communications or multi-party video or contact center or analytics. Cisco also has enterprise agreements in other technology stacks. The point here is you're pulling an enterprise agreement to bring all of that under one umbrella. Okay, you can choose whatever those entitlements are based on the worker's needs. We mentioned the 20% growth included. Terry mentioned the public space and video endpoint licensing being included. I think another thing to note that's really, really important is there's some vertical specific promotions with the Flex EA. For our clients and organizations that sit in the EDU or higher education sector, there's actually a specific promotion purpose-built for you. when it comes to Cisco Collaboration Flex. Okay? I see we have all verticals across the bottom of this existing slide. This applies to all verticals: commercial, financial, retail, manufacturing, and healthcare verticals. You can position the Collaboration Flex for it. Anything to add to that, Terry?
No, it's good.
Truly what you're getting, right? I talked about the hybrid component of this all along. You are getting, from a meetings perspective, entitlements to Cisco WebEx Teams. WebEx Teams is Cisco's next generation meetings and team collaboration product that allows you to use and join WebEx meetings right within it. But it also gives you entitlements to leverage their on-premise bridging and video collaboration solution known as Cisco Meeting Server. Cisco Meeting Server is not just important for video conferencing, it's also important, and a lot of our clients forget this, if they've embraced video in a big way, it's also required for ad hoc video bridging services. So in the event that a client has on-premise communications manager and has adopted Jabber or Cisco Video or telepresence in any way, what happens when it's not a scheduled meeting and you want more than 3 people to automatically be bridged together? Cisco Meeting Server is a necessary application to do that. It provides you the media resources to bring 5 Jabber users in 3 conference rooms together without having to schedule a meeting as the meeting and conversation escalates. You're not only being entitled to Cisco WebEx Calling, which is Cisco's collaboration cloud calling services, okay, so true telephony-based services, formerly known as Cisco Spark Call, but you also could leverage Cisco hosted collaboration services through a service provider of your choice. That is also included in this enterprise agreement. So there's organizations out there, while I expect Cisco WebEx Calling to slowly displace this service, people can host Communications Manager on behalf of your organization. The licensing for that is included in the Flex EA. And further, it obviously includes Cisco Unified Communications Manager from a calling perspective, along with Cisco Jabber. Additional applications that are included that you're probably thinking of, like ST, Survivable Remote Site Telephony, your PSTN carrier sessions to and from the outside world, Exchange calendaring integration application, attending console solutions. These are all applications that are included in the EA that for years needed to be purchased separately to complete the entire collaboration solution. That WebEx Teams is included in this. Again, so is Cisco Jabber if you're using the on-premise solution for Cisco messaging today.
The value of this is, I'm going to show you a scenario. We had a customer recently that wanted to try a product that they weren't licensed for. They were not in a Flex agreement. It was the attendant console in this case. So they actually had to buy attendant console. If you find that you have a requirement to implement a piece of Cisco technology that you don't have it currently licensed with a Flex agreement, you can try that. If that works for your business needs, great. If it doesn't, you simply turn it off. You aren't committed to buying the license. Now you've got it, you've got to pay the support on, you're kind of burdened to it, and now it's just shelfware. So it gives you a chance to try things that you may not be able to try otherwise because you've already got that. Many times I have discussions with customers, well, you've got some licensing, it's just a configuration effort to put it together, and with the Flex, you get a large portfolio of Cisco products.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point, and to build upon that, the operational overhead from an internal perspective in your organization is going to go down with a service and solution like this as well. So in the event that you're on the cusp of consuming your existing licensing, you understand the process that you need to go to today to procure more licensing and get that software activated and enabled in your system. This is completely different, right? The services are turned on, and in the event that you do need to purchase more, you can, but You don't need to go back and register product authorization keys and get them uploaded to licensing systems. A lot of that stuff is happening in a much simpler fashion.
Yeah. One thing I also want to add about this that is kind of a side benefit from the Flex agreement, for those of you who have on current installations, you know the challenges of maintaining your support contracts and getting them to co-terminate. This one contract brings them together with one single co-termination date. So the idea I've got 3 licenses that end in October, another 25 that end in April, another 15 that end in May is gone. It's one date of the subscription, and that alone saves a tremendous amount of confusion, paperwork, and possibility of missing a support that'll cost you more money in the future.
Yeah, no, and sometimes even services from the outside to help you get you back in line and in compliance, and maybe even get the stuff turned on. Yeah, it's a great point, great point. So purchasing Cisco Collaboration today, and I left Flex Plan off that because in the event that you do go out and move ahead with a Collaboration Flex Plan, as Terry just alluded to, everything's coterminous, everything's on, it's one active agreement. The only other thing that goes along with that now is, right? So whether that be an IP phone, or you're going to use software-based clients, or a video endpoint, you have the plan. You just go out and get your devices. The licensing is already inclusive. All right, so a far more simplistic way of procuring and consuming the collaboration services than before. Last slide before we open it up for questions. So why, again, choose the Cisco Collaboration Flex Plan? First and foremost, you're going to be able to get employees up and running very, very quickly. Okay? Choose the meetings and calling services that they need today. You're going to protect your investment. You're going to build on your existing deployments, consolidate, as Terry just mentioned, all of the contracts into one, and you're going to be able to manage your spend through one monthly or annual subscription. It does not have to be monthly, but it can. In my opinion, and those who have moved ahead with this plan, you're absolutely going to be able to drive adoption and growth far more easily, right? Because you're going to the services that are in the agreement out to your user population in a far more nimble fashion, all right, based on those that meet the needs of the business. All right, so we've seen adoption grow tremendously by folks who use services that were on-premise, migrating over to cloud services, rolling all those into the plan. All right, folks knowing that perhaps WebEx meetings is something that they wanted to embrace for some time, but they haven't been able to bite that off, if you will. All right, so this is a we had to roll up the why. Is there anything that you want to add?
And the other thing that I'd add is, you know, we talked about the simplicity and removing the issues around trying to get renewals, and I'll touch on this, Sean. Predictability of your budget. Each of us is in our organizations is tasked with that annual chore of what type of funds do you need next year. This part of it becomes very predictable and takes one more headache off your plate because you now know what the cost of this is going to be.
No, that's great. That's good. So I think we're about 20 after here. Time to open it up for questions. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. As I mentioned, we wanted to start this out as a high-level overview of what the Flex Plan is all about. There is far more granularity that we would need to get into in the event that you do want to go down this path. We're happy to have those discussions with you, and I think that a follow-up here will be for those who did join the webinar. The account manager that you work with from SMP will be reaching out to you to see if you want to have some additional discussions.